This is the second part of preparation of salt. In this method we are again preparing water-soluble salts by the action of acids on metal oxides. So previously we have learned the action of acid on metals. Now it is the action of acid on metal oxide. Uh, you should know that acid reacts with metal oxide to produce water-soluble salt and water. For example, calcium oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce calcium chloride and water. You can see this in equation. Remember that based on reaction with water, these are two kinds of metal oxide. And these two kinds, number one, those which react with water to produce their water-soluble hydroxide. For example, calcium oxide reacts with water to produce calcium hydroxide, that is slightly soluble in water. Those which do not react with water, so they do not produce water-soluble hydroxide. For example, most of the transition metal oxide and the metals from group 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 do not react with water. There are some important points to know. If metal oxide produces soluble hydroxide with water, then we can also use titration method for the preparation of those metal salts that we will see in our part 3. If metal is reactive with an acid to produce its respective water soluble salt, then it would be good choice in many cases. But it depends on availability of material, availability of apparatus and availability of our laboratory condition. If laboratory condition is good for particular method, then we can use that particular method easily. This method is mainly applied for the oxides of those metals which do not react with acid directly, such as copper and lead and some other metals as well. Those metal oxides do not produce water soluble hydroxide. For example, copper 2 oxide, iron 2 oxide, iron 3 oxide, lead 2 oxide. So then we can use this method. Remember that most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water except the oxides of group 1 and group 2 of the periodic table. You should know in group 1 elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium, and group 2 beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium. So it is a method for the preparation of water soluble salts from insoluble bases. What are insoluble bases? Insoluble bases means metal oxides and metal hydroxides. By the action of acid on metal oxide, for example, we can take the example of preparation of copper 2 sulfate. So here we are taking the preparation of copper 2 sulfate as an example of this method. Copper 2 oxide reacts with sulfuric acid to produce copper 2 sulfate and water. In this diagram you can see the apparatus that we will use for the preparation of copper 2 sulfate. Here this black color solid is copper 2 oxide. In this bottle sulfuric acid is there, and here we have beaker, evaporating dish, glass rod, Bunsen burner and conical flask, and this is spatula. Copper 2 oxide reacts with sulfuric acid to produce copper 2 sulfate and water. You can see here, as it is a neutralization reaction, this copper 2 oxide is solid and it is insoluble in water. When it reacts with acid, it produces aqueous copper sulfate. It means copper sulfate is soluble in water. So when this reaction proceeds, the black solid copper 2 oxide is being converted into blue solution of copper 2 sulfate. Now see this diagrammatic illustration of the method. First we have taken sulfuric acid into the beaker, and then we have added excess of copper 2 oxide, that is black in color. Copper 2 oxide is insoluble in water and we are taking it in excess because by taking it in excess, we can make sure that all the acid has been consumed completely, so it cannot contaminate our desired salt. And we can remove this this unreacted copper 2 oxide by filtration method. Heating is required because accomplishing this reaction some heat is required. So by heating we can make it sure that all the acid has been consumed, and the remaining unreacted copper 2 oxide can be filtered out. So here in this diagram you can see that the solution, that is the filtrate coming from there, it contains copper 2 ion as well as sulfate ions, while the unreacted copper 2 oxide remain there on the filter paper as residue. Now after evaporation, either we can perform the evaporation directly or indirectly, as we have seen in our previous lecture. So on heating, first the solution becomes saturated and supersaturated. Then on cooling, we can get the crystal of copper 2 sulfate, and these crystals can be removed by filtration method. So in this way we have seen two methods for the preparation of salt.